Divas, welcome back to another episode of the podcast. It's me running solo today to recap with you guys the final episode of the show that we love to hate, to love, to fight over, to now I'm sick of it. Now I don't want to hear about these people anymore. Love Island USA Season 7. It's been a wild ride. It's been a very wild ride. I have to be honest. In the beginning, I felt energized. By the end, I want to never see these people again. do y'all feel like that? Because there's something about, for me, with Love Island specifically, I think because I know that I won't have to see them continue on the island anymore, that I just kind of like erase them from my brain. Like they just kind of don't exist anymore to me. Where with Housewives, we like see them coming again for another season. Are they going to be back? Are they going to do this? Are they going to be on Watch What Happens Live? Are they be here? Love Island, I'm just kind of like, well, this was fun. I don't know. I think it's something about my undiagnosed ADD. But yeah, it wrapped up. So we're going to do a little solo recap of the Love Island season 7 finale, and then you guys will have a supersized Bravo recap coming at you sometime this weekend with the one and only Kix Hamlett. Ooh, ah, ah, ooh, ah, ah. And then I have some exciting things planned for the podcast. I really am looking to get some throwback content back into y'all's lives, so keep your eyes peeled for that. And I just love y'all. Let's get after it. So when we were chatting last week, we had seen everything but the families coming to visit and then the finale. I want to be open. I want to be honest. I want to be vulnerable. I did not watch the family visit. I just didn't have the energy. I also was traveling, as I want to do these days, it seems. I was visiting some friends in Asheville. Shout out to any Asheville, North Carolina listeners. I love it there. It's beautiful. I got to see my niece, goddaughter. She's not technically my niece by blood, but got to spend some really good quality time with her. And it was nice. Go check out my Instagram if you want to see me and my child. She's the best. Shout out to Zoe. She's a real one. That's her name. But yeah, so I didn't get to watch the family episode. I think I'm okay not watching that. It didn't seem like anything much happened besides obviously Ace and Shelley going home, which we should talk about briefly. So, I think we've lost the thread a little bit on this show about what the show truly is about. Ace and Shelley, for all intents and purposes, were the winners of the season in terms of like, if we're going to go off the rules of like couple, strongest couple, most all in, all of that, it's them and then Amaya and Brian right behind them. And I'm a Nicolandria fan as people, but I want to remember, let's go back to the actual like premise, right? The premise is love. The premise is like favorite love story. And I just think that Ace and Shelley on paper had that, regardless of whether y'all think that they were together or not outside in the real world. If we're just living in the world of this show, they should have won. It's clear that social media has become a whole other part of the conversation at Love Island, and that was part of the reason why they were pulled from like the final four. I thought it was crazy. And I love Pepe and Iris. I love Pepe. But y'all, them or Huda and Chris, like, it's insane to me that they were still there. They were even like, yo, this is crazy. So Ace and Shelley, peace out. Now, before we get to the final episode, I do want to give some airtime briefly to the very disturbing, alarming hype house, content house. Y'all, content houses are a thing that don't compute with my brain. So people just rent an Airbnb and they're just like, come over, like we're going to just film content all day. And just find TikTok trends. Like that actually sounds like my pure hell. Sitting on our phones, just being like doing these little dances, like it's crazy, y'all. If you're on, so the king of the Casa Amor hype house is Zach C. Okay, Zach C is this like, he has pretty good style. I'll give him some credit on the style. He's trying some things. He's swinging big. We love to see a straight man swing big, and I think he's hot. I do think he's hot. But he is out here doing all these TikTok dances like this. You'll have to subscribe to the YouTube to see what I just did. It's just like, and then my brain goes all these places. I'm like, okay, so he's doing this dance, and you know what? Maybe I'm stupid. Maybe I'm the stupid one. I am the one that is, I am the millennial with too much shame. But he's doing these dances and making, I think, monetizing off of it on TikTok. He has like almost 500,000 followers by just doing a dance. Lord, we have strayed too far from the Lord's light. She is not in support of this. It's just, I'm like, y'all, what are we doing? I'm sorry. I feel old, to be honest with you. Like watching that, I'm like, okay, so this is what my parents felt like when they watched me make a MySpace profile. I think that is kind of what's happening here. But so sorry, not Kyle. Kyle. That name just came out of absolute nowhere. Zach C. What's the guy? I can't remember his name from. Oh, anyways, all the Casa More guys and all the Casa More girls, and then Austin, because Austin got kicked out. They've all been like in LA just filming content. Austin also, Austin, we talked about this last week with Sarah Heron, but he did say he can't be racist because he has a black woman tattooed on his body. So it's just wild to me. What's also wild is, why are all these white people who give off the I didn't vote or the I'm a Rogan MAGA head, somewhere in those three, right? All they do is try and talk, dress, and dance to black content. Y'all, what are we doing? Does anyone else? Sometimes I feel like I'm living in the Twilight Zone. I'm like, does anyone else clock that Huda tries to talk like she's like black Ariana Grande? It's upsetting. Like, what? She's like, I'm not even going to do it because it feels incredibly inappropriate. We're all just kind of trying to not be white, it seems, these days. Which I get it. Well, white people are awful, but I think you got to sit in your whiteness and just be a better white. Be the best white you can be when our ancestors have done nothing to make us good. Guys, should I write a book? that really that was kind of deep. But no, they're at this hype house in LA. They've been there for what feels like a whole other season of Love Island has filmed in this hype house. They have just head home. I hate that I know all this information, but I do. I've been following it pretty religiously. It's everyone. TJ, Austin, Jeremiah, Zach C. You know who's not there is Zach Harry. I don't know where Zach Harry is, but up to stuff, I assume. And then, now we have, everyone has departed the island and we're getting all these breakout press interviews. Most notably, I would say Huda was on Call Her Daddy. And she just has this really interesting vibe to her. She has no accountability for her craziness. And she also, once again, is just like, she's like, bro, man, I don't know, man. Like, I just don't want to. I'm like, stop. Talk like Huda. that what you're doing. She's just tries to play this cool like wannabe basketball wife, which she almost was with Chris, who just wants to play balls overseas. So um, they all give me the ick. They do. I think I realized about this show is I like them more on the island. I don't want to know anything else. I like them more in the confines of the show. I actually don't need to see them at Disney World. I wish them well. They don't belong in my world. They belong in the Love Island world, you know? So I don't know. That's my stream of consciousness on everything post Love Island, and obviously forever and always go away Nick Vial. So let's get into the finale episode. So the finale episode was 2 hours long. I'm gonna say we didn't need that. I'm gonna say we didn't need 2 hours of content. Didn't feel needed to me, but we stretched it. We made it work. It was very, very, very Chris Harrison Bachelor. Like we were really pulling the old ABC strings. Like let's stretch this shit out. Sometimes those Bachelor episodes are 3 hours long. Can you believe that? Can you believe that? It's crazy to me. So yeah, the 2 hours long. The first hour was all of their final dates. So our first date we get is Olandria and Nick. They go on. Wait, okay, guys, I need you to all be with me here. So let's all remember, Fiji is where they film Love Island. It is also where they film Survivor. Where Nick and Olandria went looks like the mountain that they always climb on Survivor, on like Exile Island or wherever they go to like get those hidden immunity idols when they break off from like the challenge and they take one person from each tribe. It looks exactly like that. I think it was that island. Fiji's not that big. I think they went to the place where all of our survivors like go and try and like get like an extra vote and things like that. It looks identical to it. And they essentially were playing a Survivor challenge. In Survivor Winners at War, they had to do this whole like message in a bottle thing, which is what Nick and Olandria did. I am convinced it was the island. Please, someone hop in the chat. I gotta know if you agree or if you clocked that. So they go through and they essentially open all these messages and bottles from people that are like, hey, it's me. Love Island superfan, Hutta for life, Ohio mom. I just want to say that I love you. I've seen y'all as a couple since the beginning. Hearts, kiss emoji. And they're like, oh my God, that is crazy. And so they just do that until they climb up the mountain. And then at the top of the mountain, we get a message from Nick's father, which did make everyone cry. Well, Nick and Olandria cry. And then we get a message from Olandria's, I can't remember what relative. I have it written down somewhere. Wait. Final dates. Yeah, I missed. I didn't write it down. But yeah, for someone from her family, and she was like very emotional about it. Also, shout out to our girls from the Housewives. Wait, yeah, Housewives Nightcap podcast on Access Hollywood. They have been getting all of the intel on these Islanders, and they just had Nick Olandria on the podcast, and they looked very buddy. So happy to see that. So yeah, theirs wasn't so romantic. It was more like it felt like the producers were like, just so you know, everyone wanted this, which I think is kind of sweet, and that has to feel really special. And then after that, we get a beautiful date between Iris and Pepe. They go on a boat on a catamaran and make out. They just kind of lay on top of each other and make out the whole time. Iris wants that Pepole. That's what I'm calling his dick. Pepole. 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 So bad. She wants it so bad. She wants it so bad. I threaded that when they gave the hideaway moment to Amaya, Iris wanted it so bad. She's like, no, I wanted it. She has just been horny AF for that Pepole. Do you think that when they got to the Delta Sky Lounge, like as they were leaving Fiji, any of them went into those like private rooms and boned? I would. They have been so horned up and they haven't had any privacy, I would absolutely go in bone zone. Um, yep, they had a nice. It was cute. I honestly really like them together. I think they're cute. I actually think they could stay together. I'm curious to see what kind of the world has in store for them. But I ship them, as the kids say. And then, oh wow, oh, wow, we get a Huda and Chris breakup that is one of the more magical moments we've had in reality television in the year 2025. So they take them to this dinner in the middle of like a pond, essentially. Like there's like little stepping stools to get to like the slab of concrete in the middle of this pond. And the water itself is like not very deep, so you can like walk through it. So Chris carries Huda over into the little dining area, and they have their conversation. And essentially, he's like, "So here's the deal. We've been fighting. We fought last night because I threw a pillow at your head, and you claimed that I fucked up your nose job. You were fighting because I'm not touching you enough, but then you're asking me to touch you. There's just like constant like back and forth that aren't tracking." And he's like, I just need to know, like, do you want to try and make this work? Or do you want to just take a step back? And she says, I think I just want to be friends. And he does not respond to that very well. She's being honest about it. I'm not team her a lot. I was team her in this. Like, she's just trying to be like, no, I just want to be friends. Like, I think, but still, like, be nice and cordial, but I'm just not trying to fight with you anymore. And I think this just isn't right. While they literally just wrap up that conversation, a regional musical theater actress slowly starts to make her way up the rocks, the rocks that look over the dining area, in a beautiful floor-length red gown, and goes, "Moon River, brighter than a love." Start singing Moon River, y'all, and I started crying, laughing. They literally just broke up, and this woman is singing Moon River from Breakfast at Tiffany's over their breakup meal. Also, I don't know if you clocked it, they let her sing only like 2 bars of the song, and then they dubbed it to like a different version. I thought that was so weird. Like, why did they dub her? Maybe her audio was like didn't come through right or something, but she sang over their breakup, and then it was magical. And then on top of all that, the date it's time to wrap up, go back to the villa, and Chris takes a step off into the water to leave, and Huda goes, "Are you gonna carry me?" And Chris goes, "No, I'm not gonna carry you." And so Huda just she's just like, fuck, and goes and takes a big swig of that champagne bottle and just walks through the water with the champagne bottle. I haven't loved her this season. I saw myself in her here. I saw myself in her. I did. What can I say? What can I say? I saw me. And it made for a fantastic moment on reality television. And then they arrive back in the villa, and they have to kind of break down the fact that they are no longer together. I loved it, y'all. This was good TV. This moment was good TV. The rest of this episode was fluff, but this was good. And then last but certainly not least, we get our beloved couple of Brian and Amaya, and they head to a nice little dinner that looks like, it kind of looks like a cigar shop in like Cuba or something. Like, it has a very Havana Nights vibe to it. I thought it was cute. They were like, people online were joking like they gave them like, or no, Ian Sterling was like, we ran out of options and we gave them the shitty one. That was, guys, don't quote that. That was Australian. That was not Scottish. I can't do Scottish accent. But he essentially was like, we ran out of props, so they're stuck with this couch in the middle of the forest. I thought it was cute. And they looked at a photo album of them as babies and cried. Brian loves her. He like wants to take care of her in a way that feels so incredibly special, and it feels exactly what she deserves. I don't know why it took so long for their connection to fully form, but I'm so happy it did. And they talk a lot about how they how he fell in love with her and she fell in love with him when like he saw her being mistreated and but he saw exactly who she was. Like he was like, I clocked who you were in that moment. I know you. I can see your spirit, and you are just someone that I love. And she was like, I didn't know. I've never had a man like stick up for me like you did and see me for the first time in that real way. And I thought it was just. I think that moment was so beautiful. And fuck Austin and Ace for like getting at her for just being authentically Amaya. But if they hadn't done that, I don't know that we would have gotten the Brian Amaya connection right away. Like, I don't know that they would have figured out that they really liked each other. So I really love them. Brian, I find incredibly attractive. Incredibly attractive. And you know that they are boning nonstop at the Sky Lounge. They did it in the airplane bathroom. They've done it in between press junkets. Bone zone. Yeah. What's the Drake song? Pound Town. No. Pussy. My booty hole brown. Okay, guys. I'm sorry. It's hot. It's hot in here. Okay, don't get mad at me. They've been going to Pound Town. Absolutely. And she also keeps saying that she is Cinderella. I have a feeling that she is a Disney adult, and that in most cases would make me upset. I'm not a big Disney adult person, personally. But with her, I think it's kind of hilarious that this girl from New York, this like Dominican girl raised in New York with this like kooky, like sensitive gangster attitude is like a deep Disney adult. I think it's real. I think that's what we're dealing with. So yeah, and then they get back, and then that wraps up that night. And the next day, it's time for the they're like it's like a prom moment, and then they do like these vows, and then they announce who wins. So the vows, so they all get dressed up. Everyone looks pretty good. I would say the men look great. The women all look like they're going to a different party to me. They're all like looking like a little. Actually, I can't say the men all look great. I was not a fan of Nick's ASOS Versace knockoff blazer. I can't. I don't have the energy to discuss it. I don't have the energy to even show you a photo of it. So that one I didn't love, but the gowns I generally liked. I think we all leaned so far into glitz and like sequins. I think I wish we had leaned a little more like I love like a silhouette bodycon. Like I love especially I mean these girls are like bone thin. I mean they could afford to have some more meat on them and like I like but they could pull off a really slick like princess cut like silhouette satin. Like I think that would look stunning, especially on someone like Iris. Iris, I think, is dressed a little like she's at New Jersey prom. I think we could have simplified and upped the elegance a little bit. Fashion police. But I'm being nitpicky. They all looked absolutely beautiful. So actually, I really liked Huda's dress. That like purple, it was almost see through bodycon. That one I really liked. I think it was just the other girls that I was like hit or miss with. So they have to do vows, which I quickly realized after we got our first vows, which I believe were Pepe and Iris, that we were going to have to get a Huda and Chris vows when they, in fact, are no longer together, which I was hoping was going to cause drama, but it actually was incredibly sweet. Incredibly sweet. I did not expect it to be so heartfelt. They were so sweet with each other, especially Chris, who he said, he was like, you are a great mother. You live out loud. You have a beautiful soul. Like, and anyone who gets to be with you is so lucky to have you. Like, it's just like so kind. I was like, she did not deserve all that after the things that she put you through, and vice versa. And vice versa. I don't get the best taste in my mouth about him either. So, they were very sweet though. And then Yeah, the else they were fine. But then we get where is everyone landing? Ariana comes out looking gorgeous. She reveals that in fourth place are Iris and Pepe, which is crazy. Once again, reminder: Huda and Chris are not together, and they get third place. And then our final two are, in fact, Nicolandria and then Amaya Papaya and Brian. America has made their decision. Drum roll, drum roll. We have Amaya Papaya and Brian taking home the $100,000. Y'all, this show was watched by 2 billion people. I think we could afford to give them $1 million. It's actually insane to me. And they split that. They made this whole dramatic thing like you can choose to split the money or keep it. Can you guys remind me, is that something we do in every episode, like every finale of Love Island? I did not remember that being like famously on the challenge. That is something they do when they do pairs, and Johnny Bananas has stolen the money, as has Ashley. I forget her last name. If this is something they do in Love Island, has someone stolen the money before? I don't know. This is just new to me. Also, if I stole $50,000 from you, but then I was about to leave the villa and have like millions of dollars in brand deals, I don't think it's actually that big of a deal. Personally, right now, I would love 50K. Please, if you can Venmo me that, I would love that. You can Venmo me at the Tom Hamlett. And but in their case, like they're about to leave as some of the most famous people in the world, in America right now, which is kind of crazy to say. But they don't need 50K. It's just like a consolation prize for like keeping them trapped full Stockholm syndrome on an island. But Nicolandria is cute and happy for them, and then everyone jumps in the pool, and then fireworks go off, and Ariana starts crying at the fireworks again. Fireworks do not make me cry. Fireworks make me go, oh my God. What is this, honey? So yeah, that was the Love Island finale. I thought it had high highs, low lows. I think there's probably an hour worth of content in a 2-hour program, but I tip my hat. And they did reveal at the end that they are doing the Love Island. This was something that was so funny. Right before the end, they were like, okay, Ariana's like, I have an announcement for everyone. We are going to be getting the gang back together for the Love Island reunion. And everyone's like, oh my God, shut up. I'm like, yo, we are literally together right now. Like, wait. It was like, okay, like, wait, why are we getting back? She revealed it like the appeal there was the fact that we're getting back together again. We're all together right now. So that really was confusing to me. But yes, that will air on August 25th. And then Love Island Game Season 2, hosted by Ariana, will air on September 16th. The reunion will be moderated by both Ariana and our king, Andy Cohen. So he watched this season apparently and really loved it. So he's hopping in to help Ariana do the reunion. I love that he's helping because I love Ariana, but I don't think she has. I think she's a good Love Island like presence. Going back and forth and watching Love Island UK right now and Love Island USA, Maya Jama she does an incredible job at hosting and endearing herself to people while also like being the host. Like Ariana sometimes is a little like hosty, where Maya Jama is like, "Hey, what's up, guys? So we do have a breakup. We do have a recoupling today. You are gonna go home. Are you okay? Okay, moving on." It's I don't know. There's just like an ease to her that I think will come to Ariana with just more time. But I do think Ariana's doing a great job, and her looks will always be an absolute slay. I'm gonna watch Love Island Games. I don't know if I'm gonna watch the reunion, to be honest, y'all. I am ready to move on with my life. I've stopped so much of my life for this show. So, but anything for y'all. Anything for my dumpster divas. Guys, I think this is the end of our recap today. Once again, we have a episode coming out this weekend with Kix. We're going to chat mostly about the Real Houses of Miami, and then I'm going to do a little dive into Next Gen NYC, as well as the Valley, and a little OC chat. We're going to have Ryan Bailey on the podcast next week. I want to spend a lot of time talking the Valley and OC with him. So if it's a little light on the OC chat, it's coming. Okay, it's coming. And make sure to subscribe to the Dumpster Dive YouTube. That is at youtube.com/dumpsterdivepod. Make sure to follow me at the Tom Hamlett. If you got any suggestions for things to cover in the pod, if you want to get at me with your questions about reality TV, email me at dumpsterdivepod@gmail.com. I do love and adore you guys. Thank you all for your continuous kind messages and love as the podcast continues to grow. I will talk to you all next time. Bye.